What could Valguero Ascended's boss look like? Well, there's a good bit of evidence kind of proving this, that we're gonna get a new boss with Valguero. I mean, look at the last couple maps. First of all, Ragnarok shocked all of us when we absolutely just had this crazy new boss, which was Nakatas, or I forget how to say his name. Anyways, it was a new dragon boss, and that dragon was pretty insane. And yes, the boss fight's pretty simple. It still isn't too complicated to do, but it got rid of the regular, Manticore and dragon fight. Because guess what? It got kind of bland, and when you kind of copy and paste the same boss from other maps, it gets kind of boring. So what is Valguero's new boss gonna be? Well, I was kind of thinking for a bit, and in my honest opinion, I think the new boss fight will be this little guy. And not what I mean with this little guy, I mean it will be based around him. And that is simply because this is the main key dino for Valguero. Yes, we have the two new dinos, but like the Elder Claw and I forget the other one, I can't think of the name off the top of my head, the big looking T-Rex one. But I feel like it's gonna be the Furry Raptor, or the Dino Suchus, the Dino Chus. I can never say this dude's name. I've never been able to say this guy's name properly. But I just feel like this could be our new boss. And I'm thinking maybe a bigger version of him because, simple as this, he's pretty terrifying. I mean, this dude's kind of cracked. Imagine this thing as just a giant boss that's trying to attack you with some crazy mechanics or something. But only time will tell what we will actually receive for the boss. Now this guy has some pretty cool abilities, like the attack ability, like his first one is, the left click, which is that one. Then you have his right click, which doesn't really do too much, but he does do a bleeding effect. And that is the more important thing here. Now he's similar to a Terror Bird in the way that he kind of glides, except he doesn't glide, super far, but he doesn't really take any fall damage. Another cool little thing about him, I forget which button it is. I think it's this one. Yeah, it was. I can't get it. Okay, never mind. I'm stupid. It's literally just spacebar. But yeah, this is the coolest feature about this dino. But yeah, this is the coolest ability about this little dino thing here. The dino, such as whatever it is that he can just attach onto dinos. Now this works with any bigger dino, of course, and you can sit on here. You can have up to, I believe, 4 on a dino at a time, and you can just spam the crap out of attacks. I mean, he's pretty overpowered, and not to mention you really can't hit him off when he's on. I mean, you can, but it has to be a player that's trying to hit him off, and pretty overpowered dino if you ask me. And then he can just kind of dip out of there like he was never even there. But could you imagine that as a boss, just, on cracks? Think about it. With Ragnarok, that boss fight is based around a wyvern. What is Ragnarok known for? It's dragons. That's the main part of the map that it's really known for. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably going to argue about that, but when you do think about it, I mean, it just makes a little bit more sense. I mean, why wouldn't Valguero have a boss fight themed around this? Because I believe the boss fight on here is just the Manticore. I may be wrong. I want to try to find an obelisk here really quick to just do this. I have not played Valguero in many, many years. But if I had to, expect a dino, it would be him. Now, let's go to this ob really quick. I want to see. I completely forget what the boss was on here. Okay, that's right. So it was the monkey, the Manticore, and what was that last one? I believe the dragon? It should have been the dragon, yeah. So it's the dragon, monkey, and the Manticore. Completely forgot about that. So we're definitely not going to have, I mean, we could. Valguero could be on a really big, time halt, and they need to get this out ASAP, so they may just give us kind of a sloppy one, and it might just be the same ones that we have. But seeing how Ragnarok's boss came out, which was amazing, by the way, that was a shock to everybody. Nobody expected that to happen. I would kind of expect that to happen. So I would expect us to at least get something new for the boss. This video is sponsored by Mitra 9. Mitra 9 is a non-alcoholic supplement that quite literally makes you feel good. These drinks give you a high, but without the impairment. They have a ton of great flavors, my favorite being root beer. If you're looking for a new drink to replace your coffee in the morning, Mitra is the way to go. Simply go to mitra9.com and use my code OUTCAST for 25% off your entire order. Now, back to the video. But then they announced stuff right here. So this was on September 30th. I still haven't covered this at all. It doesn't really tell us too much more about Valguero, just tells us a release date. And it does show them on here. It does feature them. But I don't think there's any little hints in here to what it could be. Yeah, no, there's not. Got the new obs in there. But yeah, there's no big hints to, you know, if there's going to be a bigger version of him, if there's going to be, you know, maybe a boss fight kind of like him. But when you come down here, you have two other options that could be the boss. Now, I'm not saying this is how it's going to be because I really doubt it. It could be the Elder Claw, but a different version of him. But considering that he is a fantastic tame, it's definitely not going to be the Elder Claw as the boss. I'll just say that now. But what if we have something like him? You know, what if we have a giant tree like similar to the Forest Titan in a way, but I don't know, just a different version. It's so hard to tell what this is actually going to be because I really have no idea what this honestly could be. It could be the same boss fight. It could be something I'm not even thinking of or any of you guys are thinking of. It's really hard to tell. We have this other dino too, which they kind of teased towards us, which was the new, what's this guy's name? I always forget about him. Here it was, the Megaraptor. Simple name, I don't know how I forgot about him. But we could maybe have a similar thing, kind of like the Megaraptor as a boss. I don't really imagine it too much because we don't really have any bosses that are like him. But the Megaraptor, we still don't know what the Megaraptor is going to do. This could be a crazy dino. We have no idea yet. But what if the Megaraptor was kind of the boss, you know? It's got some cool things that it can do. So I wonder if we might maybe get some of these abilities. It's too hard to just tell what, you know, what's going to happen here. All right, so I did ask ChatGPT, you know, what do you think could be Valguero's boss? Because, you know, ChatGPT's usually pretty good about coming up with, you know, some very unique ideas. And yeah, it also agreed that the Dinosuchus or the I cannot say that dude's name. Anyways, but it could be him and just a bigger version. It came up with Primordial Alpha Dinosuchus, a hulking battle-scarred dino with glowing shifted feathers changing colors across different phases of the fight. That'd be actually pretty cool. Razor Leap, a sweeping leap that rends enemies with bleed and slows them. Yeah, I can see that. Summons empowered minions, some latching onto larger foes. And then it says Ripping Claws, a frontal swipe with staggered armor penetration. Feather Flare, a dazzling burst of feathers that deals AoE damage and blinds. That'd be kind of interesting. Balanced attacks patterns, Enraged State, Final Stand, Fiery Aura, emanates damage, and it attacks, leave burning trails. Would definitely be interesting, but I don't think it's gonna be too accurate about that. It could be. It really could be. Let's ask it to make a photo though. Can you make me an image based around your idea? All right, let's see if it can generate me a photo on this, and let's just see what it comes up with. Guys, ChatGPT sometimes comes up with some pretty phenomenal ideas, and half the time I'm like, what in the world are you talking about? So let's see what it generates here. All right, so while that image is, you know, being made, because it's still being made and it's kind of taking a bit, let's go ahead and look at the bosses in Dodo Decks. Again, not a sponsor, great source for just mainly anything ARK, but it has a bosses feature on here, I believe it should. And let's just look at the bosses that we've had in the past, and that should kind of show us something about, you know, what ARK might do here. It's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, so here are all the bosses down here. First of all, we have Bela. We have the Bela Spawn, the Broodmother, which is the most popular boss that everybody knows. Corrupted Master Controller. I know we're not getting anything close to that. Crystal Wyvern Queen, the Death Worm, which is not really a boss. The Desert Titan, the Dinosuchus King, which matches Lost Island perfectly, which is why I'm thinking, you know, Lost Island was based kind of around monkeys. Why wouldn't, you know, this map be based around that animal? I mean, it just makes more sense. We have the Dragon, again, super popular. We have Fenrir, Forest Titan, Hadean Scroll, Ice Titan, King Titan, the Manticore. Manticore was great for Scorched Earth. It matched it perfectly. Megapithecus, another famous one. The Minotaur. No, not really. Motor, which was, I believe, Genesis 1, I might be wrong. Natrix, Nunatek, Overseer, Rockwell, which was great for Apparition. We have Steinborn, Summoner, Thantos, and Thodes. So we have a lot of very unique and very different bosses in here, and it would be a big shame if they do, you know, copy and paste the same existing boss. I would really kind of, I don't know, it kind of aggravate me a little bit. I really hope that they come up with something new. I'm thinking it's going to be similar to maybe Forest Titan. I feel like the Forest Titan is going to be the closest thing in my honest opinion. It just makes sense. It really does. But you have the Dinopithecus King, and I think it's just going to be a Valguero style dino. I mean, it's got to match the map. Otherwise, it's going to be really awkward. It's going to look kind of weird. But I know I'm kind of saying about the same thing over and over in this video. I'm just trying to really think what this boss could be. It's hard to tell when you have no hints. It really is. But yeah, it's just really hard to tell. So let's go to the Valguero one here. Okay, it is still being made. So hopefully this will hurry up. But yeah, still, the image is still being created. Okay, so it is currently designing it right now. And yeah, I don't think ChatGPT kind of got the point of what this boss is going to be. Because it thinks this is the... Oh my god. ChatGPT, what are you doing, man? Are you drunk? It thinks it's going to be a lava boss. And I see the style it tried to get, but it definitely didn't get it proper. And, well, it doesn't look bad for a boss for maybe, I don't know, the volcano part of Genesis 1. That'd be kind of cool. But for Valguero, I don't know. But, well, I mean, what do you guys think? You guys think it's going to be the Dino Suchius, or however you say his name? It could be the Megaraptor. It could be the Elder Claw themed around him. I mean, what do you guys think? Because I simply just don't know. I have no idea, but we can only guess. And with Valguero, 20 days out, well, we better start guessing more.